Today, I am going to be combining warm and cool toned eyeshadows. I think that we think that once we start turning gray, going gray, that now we need to shift our color tones to more cool tones. And yes, you can do that, but you don't necessarily have to. So I'm going to go ahead and create this look that includes both the cool tones and the warm tones. Now, I've always gravitated towards warm tones. And so I was like, oh man, I'm really not going to like, you know, shifting everything to just cool tones. But you really don't have to. You can still wear the warm tones and the cool tones. So today, I'm going to go with a more blue look, and I am using these colors here. So let me start off with just covering the lid with a light wash of color, and this is neutral. So I'm going to be picking this color here and this. So as you can see, this is cooler. This has a little bit more warmth, but it's still cooler and more neutral than, say, these down here. Another thing that you'll see is, like, you know, for a blue look, a lot of people would say use a blue for their transition shade, and you can definitely do this. I'm just adding a pop of color very minimally, still keeping a relatively basic eye, but adding then the color on the lid, and I'll show you what I mean. Now I'm going to add this color, and right next to it is more of a gold, which would be warm. This one is more of like a silvery, very pale white color. And so I am going to focus this right on the inner corner. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this very icy blue color, which is very similar to the first color that I just put on the lid. And by adding this color is not a color that I would consider one of my colors. I don't gravitate towards a light blue. I don't think I look good in it. But if you're surrounding the rest of it, of a color with colors that do go with your skin tone, it's just like anything else. Like if I had a shirt that I was wearing that maybe wasn't my color, but it was, you know, I wore a scarf that was, so that you see the color, but it's not up against your face, you can actually wear it. So that's what gives you a little bit more flexibility, which I really, really like. So now I'm going to add this darker blue at the tail end of my lid. Okay. So as you can see, I'm leaving my lid light on the most part. You can start darkening it up in that corner and doing more of a gradient effect. Okay. Now what I'm wanting to do is stay with the blue, but start kind of marrying it in with more of a warmer tone on that very corner. So what I'm going to do is take this color here, maybe a combination of these two, because this is kind of more of a a bluish green. So I'm going to combine these, which will add a little bit more depth in that crease area. And let me show you how I do that with my bullet brush. And focus it right in that corner. And just kind of pushing it through like this. Blending it towards the center of my eye. And then with this, you want to go up just about, not even halfway, just about to there. And then we're going to be blending it even more with the transition brush. But here is where you're going to get as much of the depth as you want. So now I'm going to take a darker crease color, this one here, which is, it's a darker brown, but it's a little bit more on the neutral side. So I'm just going to use that with a smaller brush. We're not quite to the transition brush yet, because I'm going to then kind of go over the edge here and then up like this. So what this is doing is then encasing the cool colors, surrounding it with the neutral color. And now I'm going to go back to my transition color. Add a little bit more, because this is a more dramatic look. And then start blending it up. And I know that sometimes with these, you know, brighter colors and bolder colors, things do seem to get a little bit away from you, and it is a little bit harder to blend. So I just am going through with a clean brush and just sweeping away at that edge. So as you can see, it's cool. The cool tone, and then we've got the more neutral transition shade. Now what I like to do, just because I still really do like warmer tones, is go ahead and grab a warmer tone like this with your transition brush and go over the edge that's going up, and then just go over that. And by doing that, it's just giving me that warmth that I feel more comfortable with. So I am still wearing a cool tone, got the neutral tones that are the transition portion, and then I just lightly go along that transition shade on the top, warming up that edge a little bit. And then I do have a blue eyeliner that I'm going to use. You can use eyeshadow, but here I'm just going very close along the inner part, because I am going to put my false lashes on, and then along here. And I like to make the little cat flick following the line between the corner of my eye and the eyebrow. Okay, now let me go ahead and do the other side and put my lashes on, and then we'll finish up this look. So now let's go ahead and just kind of finish up the eyes with doing the eyebrows. And I am just using my flat brush that I use for both my eyeliner sometimes, as well as my eyebrows. And I just kind of tap in where it needs a little bit of help. Now I am going to put on my face primer and start with my under eyes. Okay, and now for the under eyes. And what I want to do is focus on how to conceal eye bags. And so what I'm doing is I am taking just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. And I am going to place it. Do you see that eye bag right there? What you want to do is place your concealer around, up into that corner where there's kind of a shadow to help lift the eye and brighten it. But to conceal the eye bag, you really want to go underneath the bag where the shadow is. Okay? So let's do this again on this side. Again, right here, right in that corner, and then underneath the bag. Okay? Where the shadow is. And that's what you're going to want to conceal. And then you just start blending. Now that I've got enough product on my brush, I'm going to go inside here and go along the tear trough line on the inner corner. On that line, not too close to the eye, and just put it there. Go back to here and kind of, you know, just press in and blend. And then up here. And we're not getting up under the eye at all. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing, is just kind of blend around, start blending, start kind of removing some of the product as well, and then going up into that inner corner. You really need just a minute amount of concealer, especially if your concealer is high coverage, and that's what you're going to want. And if you want your under eyes more brightened, you're going to want a lighter concealer than your, say, your foundation. And then it's done in one step. You know, you want to limit how many products you put under your eyes, because that just means more to settle in. Now I'm going to take my finger and just start, again, blending, pressing, and removing any excess product. And you want to press. You don't want to tug or pull. Treat your under eyes like they are delicate tissue paper. And the heat of your finger just kind of helps really blend the product into your skin. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my makeup and let the product kind of settle in a little bit. And I am just putting a nice thin layer of makeup right there. Okay. And then get a nice even layer, focusing on where you want, you know, your makeup the most. And we're going right up to the where we had put the concealer. We're not going up on the same area. We're just going up to it. And then I just followed up with a damp blending sponge. And all this is doing is removing any excess foundation. Now I take a setting powder and I go back with my finger just to kind of press in anything, pick up any extra product that might have settled in, and then take your setting powder and then just pat it along that area with your brush and then sweep it away. And that is what I do for under eye bags. Now, to finish up the eye, now I'm going to do the under eye. And as you know, I love my bronze. So what I am going to do is do the same thing as I normally do and put the bronze kind of on the waterline. And maybe just tap a little bit on this side. But what I am on the inner corner. Just like that. And then I've got a blue eyeliner. And like I say, I try to stay away from darker colors on the most part, unless you're really wanting a dramatic look. But with this one, I want it to kind of, you know, go with the blue eyeshadow. And so I'm just tapping it a little bit on this side. All right. And then by tapping it, it's giving it a little bit of definition, but it's broken up a little bit. It's not like a fine, hard line. Maybe even up a little bit on that waterline, just in the corner there. And I know that sometimes I'll take the bullet brush and go with eyeshadow underneath, but I'm going to not do that this time. I think the darker eyeliner is enough. So that's kind of finishing off that. Now, just to add a little touch of highlighter, I am going to take the same color that I used on the very inner corner. So this color right here, and just tap a bit and just go right up very high into the, right underneath the brow arch. And then tap, and then a little right there in the corner. Again, just right there, just so it maybe catches the light a little bit. And then right in there. And of course, those steps are optional. And then I'm going to finish my face, my contour and blush and highlighter as I normally do. And when you have a heavier eye look like this, it is, I think, nicer to keep everything else on the lighter side. So you don't need to match the same intensity of color on your cheeks and on your lips and everything else. Let's just add the blush. And now I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup. Making sure that my blush is a little bit more on the, you know, toned down side. Okay, so now for the lip, like I say, I'm going to do a nude, and this is actually a little bit lighter of a nude. And nudes are really a girl's best friend because they go with everything, and they also have, you know, tones that range from more of a beigey to more browns to pinks, mauves, that sort of thing. So you can find a you know, a great nude for whatever you need. And they can come in, you know, real light to darker. All right. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Also, if there is an eye look that you would like to see me do, different colors or whatever, please let me know. I'd be happy to do it. I love just playing with colors. And like I say, this look is playing with more of different tones, because some of us feel like, oh, I can't wear, you know, a cooler tone, or I can't wear blues, or I can't wear this or that. Well, if you frame it, you can. Just like with lips, if you saw my lip tutorial on how to maybe correct certain mistakes that we may be making, it's putting the color that's not necessarily working for you, but you want it to work for you, putting that in the center and then framing it with colors that do work for you. And so by doing that, you are allowing yourself so much more range, so many more options. So I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're enjoying this kind of content. Click the notification bell, letting you know when I'm uploading new videos like this. And I hope you have a great day.